Okay, all right, so you're all set.
Okay, so this packet, and we're going to be using your book too. This packet has over 100 points on it. Whoops, I'll use that. This has over 100 points, which is over 10 questions. Okay, so we're going to start.
Could you mention that?
Yeah, if you took a Blue Book test, just email your scores. We won't share them with anybody. We just want to keep track of your progress. Okay, so we want to take one test at the beginning. How many of you took a test? Oh, good, Sailor. So you could send it.
Yeah, lots of people did.
Oh, good. So just send your test scores. We won't share them with anybody. They're not official anywhere. Okay. So the first thing we have is when two lines intersect, the vertical angles are equal. And you know that. But we're going to do some different kinds of questions. So first we do the book and the packet in tandem. So where do I see my screen?
I wonder if I can get rid of this.
Right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so if we could turn to 476, number 2, this is an easy one.
Did Jacob get his box? Did you mention?
Yeah, Jacob, you got your box. I think he did.
Oh yeah, he thumbs up.
Yeah, good, good, good. I can't believe 18 inches. So this one's pretty easy. We have parallel lines. We'll get to this in a second. But if this is 145, what does this one have to be? And it has to be 145. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. Okay, Logan, take the time to look for your packet, honey. It should be in the box. Okay. Now we're going to go to a harder one. 373, number 7. Okay, so we have this scenario with parallel lines, which we're going to get to in a minute. And so you know the alternate interior angles are equal. We'll talk about that in a second. This is how you can see we're in module 2, so it's a little harder. Okay, so we have this one. It says X right here is going to be 6K plus 13. And then Y is going to be 8K minus 29. So this is a harder module. This is a module 2. So we're taking you into some deep water. So we're going to set these two equal and solve for K. And then we're eventually going to be able to get Z down here, which is an acute angle. Okay, so let's set them equal because we know vertical angles are equal, right? And you might have raced ahead of me. That would be great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is solve for K. So I'm going to add 29 to this side. And this is, you can see this is a module 2. Then we're going to subtract 6K. The harder ones are multi-step. So then K is going to be 21. We can solve either one of these. Let's try the top one. So 6 times 21 plus 13 is going to be 126 plus 13, which is 139. And that will equal this angle. And we know Z is supplementary. So 189 minus 139 is going to be 41. Answer choice C. Okay, how many in this first group got it? Just raise your hand. Good, thanks, Stiller. Okay, now which way do I go here?
Yeah, that little arrow. You
Okay,
could,
my new group. Dominic, you good with this hard one? Yeah, good. Gabby? Good. Will, just need a thumbs up. Yay, and Logan's still looking for the packet. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the packet. Okay. So now the next thing is when you have, this is another thing you have to know, pretty easy though. When you have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, the alternate interior angles are equal. So actually, you know, A equals D, vertical angles equals E equals H. So we have 4 obtuse angles and 4 acute angles. And every straight line on the test is 180. The only scenario where that wouldn't work is if they were perpendicular, then they'd be all 90. Not so bad. Okay, so let's go to the next page. So if we try this one, in the figure above, L and M are parallel. And in O are parallel. A is 125, so it's an obtuse angle. We can see B is an acute angle. So pretty much A will equal this angle, which will equal this angle, which will equal this one. So this is 125. And so 125 minus 180. So our answer is B, 55. Everybody good with this one? Okay, good. And I want to go back. How do I go back?
so you just kind of click that
Oh, click what the?
and Logan looks back.
Oh,
Yes.
Logan, glad you got your packet. So how many see this one is good? Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. That would be a little bit harder. Let's try another one. And so I'm going to go to, in the book, 365, number 11. So grab your book. Okay, so here we have parallel lines, M and N. We draw the transversal. And so we know that X, we're trying to find X. We know X equals this angle. So these are obtuse guys, which will equal this one, which will equal this one. So if line M is parallel to line N, our mission is to find,
That's 26.
yeah, this
right
is
there.
26. So we know that we're just doing 180 minus 26. And so our answer will be D. Everybody good on this side of the universe? Yeah, thanks. Thank you for the thumbs. Thumbs here. Everybody good? Okay. Julia, you're good? Okay. So back to the packet. Now, these are some harder ones. You probably won't get one this hard, but you could.
Yeah, feel free to ask Mrs. Hessler if you get a harder one and you don't understand, she can explain it
Yeah, so just,
again, you know.
scream through your microphone.
Just let us know. They start easy, they get harder, right?
So this is 50, that's 40, that makes 90. Does everybody see that B's got to be 90? And now our mission is to find X. But what we have to do is darken the vertical angles so we can see that 90 equals 60 plus X. So X has to be 30. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. And we would just put in 30. We don't have to put in the degrees. Good on this side of the universe. Yeah. And the other side of the universe. Okay, thank you. All right. And we're going to now do one more book problem. I'm just doing enough. I know this is exhaustive, but 298, number 4. So this is our scenario here. We
Oh,
have,
yeah, you could tell Jacob he can write right in his book. It's his.
yeah, for all of you, you write right in your book. It's yours. And Gabby, I don't know what we're going to do on Sunday yet. Hope, it depends on if the rec center is closed or not. We're only getting 5 inches, but Jacob's getting 18, so we can count ourselves lucky. Okay, so this one, the figure's not drawn to scale. That means we can't trust our eyes. In the figure shown, line L intersects L and K. And so our answers are, what would prove these lines parallel? Well, we know right away, A is a trap. And often I've been telling people this, the traps are put into A because they want you to just be happy. But do you see if all I know is W is Y?
It's true though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But they're just trying to trick you.
They're trying to trick you because we're trying to prove parallel lines. So that isn't enough. W equals, this is Z down here. So do you see if W equals Z, then that proves it's true. So does everybody see how B is the answer and A is a trap? Does that make sense? This side of the universe. Good. And thank you, Logan. And then this one. Does everybody see that the answer is B for that one? And that A is a trap? Good. Okay, so now we're back to the packet. So it's nice, you're nice, safe in your homes, and you don't have to. There's some things awesome about technology. So anyway, this says the figure's not drawn to scale. That means that we can't trust our eyes. So we have, this is a little bit harder. We have to work this equation. B is 60. So we're going to have 180 minus A equals 2 times 60. 180 minus A equals 120. So we subtract 120 from 180 from both sides. We'll get negative A is a negative 60. So A is 60. So actually, this is an equilateral triangle, but it doesn't look like it. Does that make sense? But when you have an isosceles triangle, and we're going to we have a whole lesson on triangles, obviously. So not to worry if you had geometry a while ago. We're going to cover everything you need to know. So here, so this apex angle is 60. These two angles have to add up to 120. So we just divide them by 2. So each of these is 60. And so we got to get X, which is 60. Does that make sense? Good. So the other universe I have over here, everybody get that 60? Good job. Well, I can barely see you. You're in the shadows, but I know you're there. Just give me yeah, thank you. Okay. Just to remember, and sometimes they put an isosceles triangle in a circle, and so all the radii are equal. Now, the next one is this is about the hardest it gets. So we have to find what's equal to x. So let's first label the vertical angles here. I'm going to sneeze, which I did. Okay, A equals C. I'm just labeling all the vertical angles. Now I'm going to do a color change so you can see this. I'm going to darken the parallel lines, even though it's hard to write on this glass. And so if I draw this line, do you see X has to equal A plus C? Now, I might have to do this again, which is answer choice. Hold on. B. You see, they put another line there to confuse me, but I'm just going to draw the parallel lines, draw the transversal. So how many, you guys see that? Dominic, are you okay or not quite? Good. William, you're good? Okay. So now I go which way? This way? No, how do I see the other? I don't see you. Okay, so everybody here good that that's A plus C. So on the test, if they give, this is as hard as it gets, they might do something tricky like that. Okay, now we conquered vertical angles. Whoops,
You didn't mean to do that, did you?
I didn't mean to do this. Okay, now you've had slope your whole lives, right?
Yeah.
And so the slope formula, they don't give you this
On the formula page.
on the formula page. So this is something you have to know. It's rise over run. But they can make these really tricky. Okay, so for example, for this one, I have 1, 2, and 2, 4. And you can see how I use the slope formula to get the answer was 2. Okay. So now we're going to do some book problems. Oh, let me see if I need anything else to add. And this is the slope formula. And the other thing we're going to be covering, well, we'll all wait on this. So let's just do some slope problems from the book. Okay. So we're going to do 485, number 5. Let's see.
Oh, this is.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm a little slow here getting this. Okay. So you're going to, like I said, this one's pretty easy. If the line's going like this, which one would you pick, Jacob? And just, if the line is like this, it's got to be linear, right? And is it increasing or decreasing?
A.
Good job. Everybody see it's increasing. Okay, let's try another easy one. 5, they're going to get hard. 598, number 2. Because we want you to nail all these 100 points. Okay, number 2 says line R in the XY plane. It has, so we know what our y is mx plus b. This is always going to be our rate or our slope. And so we have a slope of 4 and the y-intercept is 6. So does everybody see that one will be D? Everybody good on this side of the universe? Good, Sailor? And you guys good here? Thanks, Logan. Dominic, good. William, good. Okay. Okay, we're going to do some middle ones. The first one we're going to do is 219, number 14. I like to do the book problems because it relieves test anxiety because you've seen all the book ones. And also, you know, we're credible. So this is sort of a word problem. So I'm not going to write it all out. I'm just going to read it. Oh, do you have a little animal there, Logan? What is it? It's just tell us what's the name? Can you unmute it, honey? So what's your animal?
She's a dog. Her name's Maki. Sorry, I
Oh.
didn't know you could see with, okay.
No, it's fine.
It's
We
fine.
we love it. Yeah, we don't care.
We love Bucky.
We like Monkey.
Okay, so
Thanks,
219, number 14. I'm not going to write this all out, but let's look at this. Because you might get a word problem like this. A voter registration drive was held in town. Why? The number of voters V registered T days after the drive began can be estimated by the equation V equals 3450 plus 65T. What's the best interpretation of the number 65? So scan the choices and see if you can pick your answer. Okay, does everybody see? It's going to be D because it's the estimated number of voters registered each day during the drive. How many see that it's D? Dominic, you're good? Okay. Back to my other universe. Thank you. Everybody see it's D? Good. So you could get a word problem like that. We're going to do another one in the book because there's slopes all over the test. 222, number 7. Just turn the page, actually, a couple pages. Same kind of a word problem. So the given equation gives the total monthly price, P in dollars, for using an online gaming service. The total monthly charge for the online service consists of a flat monthly fee, which will be the $5, and a charge for each game played during a month. Take the time to scan the choices and lock in an answer. Of the following, which is the best interpretation of the value of X in this context? Well, it's not going to be the flat monthly fee or the number of months. It's going to be A. Does that make sense? Okay, everybody good? Other universe?
They don't know what you mean by universes, by the way, because
Well-
they don't see what you see.
Oh, you don't see what I see.
Yeah.
I have to see. I
He's
have
scrolling through the video
I'm
feed.
scrolling through. Yes, okay, that's what I mean by. Okay, let's go to 224, just a page over. Like I said, these are all over the test, and so they should look like good friends on test day. 224, number 11. this one is gonna make us work a little bit. This would be broaching difficulty. In the XY plane, line L contains the points 2, 4,
2, 6, I think.
oh, 2, 6, can't see it. 2, 6, thanks.
Mhm.
And 8, 10. Which of the following is the equation of the line? Well, we have to bring out our slope formula, right? Which is rise over run. And so that's going to be 10 minus 6 over 8 minus 2. So our slope is going to be 4, 6, which reduces to 2/3. And there's only one slope that has 2/3, and it's going to be A. Does everybody see that? We had to work a little bit, but not too bad.
Oh, look, I see a trap too. If you put run over rise, answer choice B would be
Yeah.
incorrect.
If you put this over the top, you get the wrong answer. Everybody good here? Julia, good? Okay. My other group, everybody good here? 2/3 is A. Okay, this is a smart group. So now we're going to do 225, number 16. Pretty easy, actually. This is just read off the graph. I don't know why they call it 16. The point 3D lies on the line. What is the
Well,
value?
I guess you have to solve for it because it's not exactly on the crosshairs there, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it sort of is.
It is not.
3 minus 6.
No, it's not. It's close to 3 minus 6, but that's why this is maybe harder than you think. So you have to find the slope. And you have to find y equals mx plus b.
Okay, so we can do that.
It's not, yeah, it's not 6, or it's not negative 6.
The answer is negative 6.
It is not.
In the back of the book.
Look at this.
Okay, so I was wrong.
It's close. I mean, but it's not. They're trying to trick you.
They're trying
They
to
got
trick
Mrs. Hessler, I guess.
Got me. Okay, so can we use what 2 points did you pick?
I picked 0, negative 11, and 7, 0.
Okay, so we're now going to do rise over
Yeah,
rise.
0, negative 11, and 7, 0.
So negative 11 minus 0 over 0 minus 7 is going to give us negative 11 over a minus 7, which is 11/7, right?
Correct.
Then
So she's got the slope, and she knows what the y-intercept is.
so I know the slope is 4/7.
It's 11/7.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. 11/7. And
11
you know what the
sevenths.
y-intercept is.
Plus 7.
No, that's the
Oh,
x-intercept.
that's the x-intercept. We
Yep.
want the y,
Yep.
which will be minus 11.
Yep, correct.
And then so we have to put in
And either of those points.
3. No, to find,
Oh, yeah. You've got to put in 3 for the x.
so we're going to put 3 for the x, which is right here. So we'll have 11/7 times 3 minus 11, right?
33/7 minus 77/7.
And that's going to be, what is it, 36?
Nope. 33/7 minus 77/7 is
Right.
negative 44/7. And that's the right answer.
Okay, so that's the right answer. So I misled you at first. Now, does everybody see that? That's why it was a hard one. So Logan, you okay here, guys? Logan, you're good? Sailor?
Yeah, it's about negative 6.3. So it was close, but she fell for a little trap.
I fell for the trap, which I guess happens. Dominic, you're good?
It's hard to if you weren't wearing your glasses. You might think,
Yeah, and William, you're good over there. You're sort of in the dark, but it's fine. Okay. So that was 225, number 16. We're going to do one more, before we go to the next thing. Thanks, Jim.
Uh-huh.
373, number 4. Maybe it's good I made a mistake, so you don't do what I did. 373, number 4. Okay. And this is higher difficulty. We're in module 2. So if you watch the orientation, whatever how you perform, and you can dig in ahead of time and find this. So we're going to use the formula. Try to get it ahead of me. Y equals mx plus b. And so I had the 2 points 8, 0 and 0, 7. So I'm going to use my slope formula, multi-step. This is more difficult because we're in the high difficulty section. So that's going to be 0 minus 7 over 8 minus 0, which is negative 7/8 for the slope.
And you have the y-intercept, right?
And I have the y-intercept right here. So my formula is going to be y equals,
That's the x-intercept. You keep doing that tonight.
this is our y-intercept,
Yeah,
sorry,
that's all right.
negative 7/8. So x is 0. Which one am I going to put in?
Negative 7/8 x plus 7 is the formula, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
So,
now it doesn't matter. You just have to, you're putting in 4 for y.
yeah, 4 for y, a little bit tricky. So I subtract the 7, I get negative 3 equals 7/8 x. Now I multiply by the reciprocal, which would be 8 sevenths. And I would get negative 24.
You flip the sign, I think. It's 24/7.
Yeah. So I have
You have negative 3
times,
equals negative 7/8 d. So a
right,
negative times a negative will give you the positive 24/7. I mean, plus once you look at all the answer choices, you'll see they're all positive anyway.
yeah,
So yeah, this is a negative 3 equals negative 7/8. We're calling it d now.
oh yes.
Yeah.
So that'll be
just lost the sign.
24 over 7.
I think this may have been on their practice test, so why don't you ask them, make sure that they all get this now, or ask them if they got it
Yeah,
on the
people on
test.
Sunday had trouble with this one.
Yeah, at least 3 people asked me about this question
Yeah,
on Sunday, so
So
is
let me
everyone
see.
cool with it?
so Julia, you cool? Gabby, wait, first this group. Logan, you're good? Jacob, it's a little involved. Sailor, you're good? Okay. Dominic, okay, and Gabby, you're good? And Will, thumbs up? Okay. So that is about as hard as that gets. Okay. So now we're doing, back to the packet. This is the point slope form, obviously. Now, slopes and parallel lines. So if I have 2 lines with equal slopes, so everybody in different y-intercepts, they're going to be like railroad tracks, and there's going to be no solution. So just process that in your mind, okay?
That just means they never cross,
They're
right?
never going to cross. Same slope, different y-intercepts. Okay, so let's try a couple book problems with that. If you need to write something down there to help you remember it. So we're going to go to page 360, number 18. Weren't far from there. Okay, so scan these choices. Which of them would have no solution? So lock in an answer. That should trigger in your mind parallel lines. So we have A, X is 3, Y is 5. That's not going to do it. The slopes are 0 for both of those, or undefined. Does everybody see the answer is going to be C? Because we have Y equals 16X plus 2.
I think it's a 3.
It's a 3. And Y is 16X plus 19, right?
Yeah.
So everybody lock it in. So that'll, on the test, that won't take much time at all. Same
If you
slopes.
forgot that, you could use Desmos,
Yeah, you could use Desmos, but that's a step.
but this one's pretty easy.
This one's, you just look for the y-intercept. So let's try another one. Everybody good with this one? Dominic, you're good? And this group good? Okay, let's try the next one. Next one I want to try in the book is 1076, number 2. So we're hopping over all these College Board things. Okay. Lock in an answer. It shouldn't be hard. Y equals 17/7 x plus 4. If the other line is parallel to it, everybody see the slope has to be B 17/7. Thank you, College Board. We're good with 17/7 for the slope. Okay, now I wanted to cover one other thing here. It's not in the packet, but this really helps. If you're doing X or Y intercepts, this is a little model that can help you if you need it. So to find the x-intercept, y is 0. To find the y-intercept, x will be 0. So that's our little model. So let's try a couple of these. So if you get tripped up on this, so we're going to go to 844, number 4. Okay. The function, so here's our function, f of x, which is just y, equals 1/10 x minus 2. So to get the y-intercept, we just put 0 in for x. And so the y-intercept is going to be 0 minus 2, which looks like answer choice B. So everybody good with this one? William, you're good. Thank you. Julia and Dominic and the other group. Why can't I go there? Tim, why isn't this not
I
working?
don't think you're touching it.
There. Everybody get B for this one. Yay. Good. Okay, let's try another one. Just to give you, I mean, if you need that little crutch if on test day, we're going to go to, hold on a second here, 614. We're going to try number 10. So we're getting the y coordinate. And so we know if that's the case, we use our little thing. So to find the y coordinate, x has to be 0. And same thing, to find the x coordinate, y has to be 0. So we have this equation, 3/7 x minus 5/9 y equals, and there's a negative there, right? Negative 5/9 y plus 21. And we're trying to get the y coordinate. So we just put 0 in for x, which triggers this whole thing to 0. And so then we subtract,
That's a negative 5/9.
yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
And so then we subtract 21 from both sides. Multiply by the reciprocal, which is a negative 9/5. And we will get 189/5, a positive answer. Or if you had the decimal, they would accept 37.8. So does that make sense? This side, Sailor, you're good. Jake, you're good. Logan, good. Everybody here is good. Okay, so that's an easy 10 points. That would be wait, we're in higher difficulty for that one. So that's a module 2 question. So we did, and I want to do one more. 839, number 7. Did we just do that one? No. If my writing looks a little bad, it's not that bad in person. It's just that,
Did you
Okay.
do this one?
I don't know. Did we do this one? Maybe we
This
did.
is like one that's like find a y-intercept. If you didn't do this one, you did one very similar.
Okay.
Did she do this one?
Yeah, I did this one.
Okay, sorry
Sorry.
guys.
Let's do, sorry. 844, number 11. So you can see these are popular all over the test.
I don't think that's the right, it's number 5. Number 5, everyone.
Okay. Okay, the function is f of x.
Which one are you doing? You're doing number 5, the line, right?
Yeah. Okay, the graph above shows the relationship between the number of shares of stock from company A, X, and the number of shares of stock from company B, Y. Which equation could represent this relationship? So we have to get the slope.
Why can we cross off A and C right away?
Okay, we can right away. We see that it's a negative slope. Everybody see that?
Right,
So,
and also the y-intercept is 40.
so you don't really have to even do much.
Yeah, it's
You
not A
can
or C.
fly like an eagle above the
It has to
problem.
be B or D.
Right. So it has to be B or D. And we can see that it has to be B.
So are we dividing 480 by 12 or 8 to get 40? That's the question.
Yeah.
Because we know the y-intercept's 40.
Yeah, we know the y-intercept is 40.
So is 480 divided by 1240 or is 480 divided by 840?
This will be 60, so that's not right, right?
No, it is, yeah, exactly. It's
So
6 to
it's-
12.
So it's B.
Yep.
We could actually put this into white. We would have 12y
Mm-hmm.
equals minus 8x
Plus 480.
plus 480.
Divide everything by 12.
Divide everything by 12. And 480.
And that's your 40.
And that's how we get 480, right?
You get 40 for the y-intercept.
Yeah, the y-intercept will be 40.
You could put these into Desmos if you wanted, just put all the answer choices in there, you know, one of them will hit the 40.
So is that good, Gabby? William, Dominic, and Julia, and Logan, Jacob, good. Okay, now let's go on to the next page. So we conquered slope. Yay. Okay, now we're on, we have to do perpendicular lines. That's one more thing. So let's go to,
Back to the packet, right?
back to the packet. Okay, I'm on the next page. This is something they can test you on. We're going to try a couple book problems. If both slopes are defined of two lines that are perpendicular, they are opposite reciprocals of each other. So if this slope is a -3/2, it's perpendicular buddy. We just flip the numbers and make it positive. Does that make sense? You probably had that in school. So let's try one. So we're going to go to a book problem. And we're going to go to 835, number 19. So we have practice with some perpendicular lines.
See if you can beat Mrs. Hessler to the answer.
They'll beat me to the answer. I know they will. Okay, here's our line. 3y minus 12x
It's a plus.
plus 12x equals what is it? 5. Okay, so we have to get the slope. So we need to put this in y equals mx plus b mode. So we'll just subtract the 12x. Divide everything by 3. And so our slope here is -4/1. We can think of that. So we need the negative reciprocal. How many would say 1/4? Everybody on this page, good. Logan, good. Good. Everybody here, 1/4 is good, Julia, Dominic, and Bill. Good. Okay, so let's try some problems in the packet. We'll do a couple more perpendicular ones before we leave this. So we're back in the packet. So let's look at this one, number 1. So we just gave you we're just going through a number of questions. What is the equation for the line represented in the XY coordinate plane above? So we can see the y-intercept is 3, because 0, 3 is there, and there's only 1, 3, so it has to be b, and we're going down 3/2. So everybody get b for that one? Not bad, right? Let's try this one. What is the slope of the line with this equation? So I have to distribute and solve, put this in y equals mx plus b mode. So see if you beat me to the answer again. That's a y. Divide everything by 5. And so the slope has to be a -8/5. Everybody good with that one? Okay, so when you get these problems, they're going to be old friends, right? Okay, this is a popular question. So they'll give you a table. We're going to do a booklet in a minute. It might be horizontal. We're trying to get all the choices. So we could do remember there's 2 doors to go into the problem. There's the math door and then a strategy door. Hard to write this. So we'll start with
What
the.
about a trap door? How about, is there
No,
a trap in this
no,
one?
no trap door. Yeah, there is
Yeah,
a
that's
trap.
what, that's what I'm talking about. It's a choice.
You don't want to go into the
A
trap
trap
door.
door.
The trap door is not where you want to
There
go.
is though, there happens to be a trap, right?
Yeah.
Where's the trap?
Trap is always an A,
Well, not always, but
but mostly.
often.
Okay, so the math door, we know the y-intercept is 2, a +2. And we have to pick this, we have to calculate the slope. So we'll just do 10 minus 8 over 4 minus 3. So the slope is 2. So we need 2x plus 2, which would be answer choice C. Now, if I couldn't do it that way, what I could do was put the answers in. But do you see why the trapdoor is A? Because if I put 0 in for x, I would get out 2.
But it has to work for all.
But it has to work for all of them. And so if I want to try the numbers, I have to put them all in. So you could do the math way, which is preferable, or put the answer choices in. So let's try one from the book, because they love this question. This today is not bad, but we're going to go to 359, number 11. So go ahead and you try it. This time they did it like this. So it'll be X and Y, basically. So you want to figure out the slope. So you can pick out any two numbers from this group. I'm just going to do 10, 82, and 15, 137. But see if you can beat me the answer. So we're going to do, oh, I guess I'll do 20, 192. So we're going to use the same old slope formula. So here I have 192 and 82. I'm using these two numbers. And the x values would then be 10 and 20.
Right.
So that's just dividing by 10. And so 192 minus 82 would just be 110 over 10. And so the slope I would grid in is 11. How many got 11? You good on this side? Great. You guys good? Gabby? We have a bright group here. Okay. Let's keep going back to the packet. I'm sorry I'm segueing to the book a lot, but okay, so now let's look at this problem. A line in the XY coordinate plane, I'm just going to draw the picture, goes through the origin, which is 0, 0, and its slope is up 1 over 6. So if we go up 1 over 6, so this point is going to be 6, 1. Picking a different color here. Which of the following points is on the line? And that's why I said for this one, the picture is pretty good. It doesn't take much to draw that. So would 0, 6 be on this line? No, right? Would 1, 6 be on the line? No. Would 6, 6 be on the line? No. But would 12, 2 be on the line? Yes. How many see that 12, 2 would be on that line? Good, Gabby. Awesome job. And the other group, everybody, oh, good, your thumbs are already up. Jacob, you're good with 12 too. So that one, a little tricky, not too bad. Let's look at this one. On the next page. So line L is represented in the XY coordinate plane above. We can see the slope. We could calculate it. It's 0, 3, and 3, 0. So that's going to be the change in the X, the change in the Y rather, over the change in the X. So that'll be 3 over minus 3. So this slope is a -1. It makes sense because we're going down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. So if I translate this up 3 units and to the right 5, the slope is still going to be what? It's still going to be a -1. Does everybody see that? Good. You all see that the slope is still going to be a -1. Thanks, Dominic. Okay, this one is a little tricky because it's all variables. Plus so here's the line. And we have y equals kx plus 5. Now look what they did. They made it a little nasty, and I don't want this to trip you up on test day. So we have the point AB. So we're going to put A in for X and B in for Y. Does that make sense? And then all I'm trying to do is solve for K, for the slope. So what I'll do is subtract the 5. And lastly, just divide by A. And so it's beginning to look like answer choice A. Okay, Julia, good. Everybody here, good. Dominic, even though it's a little involved algebraically. And everybody good on this side? Logan and Jacob, it's it. Good. Okay, now we're going to the next page. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Should be an easy problem. In the XY coordinate plane, line L has a slope of 3 over 1. In line M has a slope of -1/3. So these lines have to be perpendicular. Just drilling that into you so you don't forget it on test day. Let's try number 8, and then we'll try a book one. So, which of the following is an equation for the line in the XY coordinate plane that goes through 0, -4? So we know right away the y-intercept, has to be a -4. So these guys are out. So this has a slope of -4 over 1. And so we have to flip it and make it positive, which would have a slope of 1/4. So the answer for this one has to be C. Good with that? Okay. And let's try a couple in the book, because this pretty much could guarantee you one like this. You just have to know. So we're going to go to 218, number 13. Try to beat me to the answer. We're doing the sample. The graph of line X is shown in the XY coordinate plane. Which is the following of the line that would be perpendicular to it? So we have to find the slope of this line first, right? We have 0, 6, and 3, 0. And so we're still using the y2 minus y1, rise over run. So we're going to do 6 minus 0 over 0 minus 3. So this slope will be a minus 2. So the slope we need has to be 1/2. So the answer has to be C. Everybody get it on this side of the world? Sorry. Everybody good here with C? And this will be like an easy friend on test day, right? Because you've already done it. And let's try one more, and then we'll drop the perpendicular line thing, I promise. So we're going to look at 373, number 8. Did we do that one?
I don't know.
So I wasn't kidding about, and this is module 2, so this is a higher difficulty, but I know you can do it. So we're given this equation, 2y plus 18x equals 9. What is the slope of the line that's perpendicular to it? So we just have to put it in y equals mx plus b mode. Divide everything by 2. So our slope here is minus 9. So we need the negative reciprocal, which should be 1/9, which is C. Everybody good with that one? Thanks, Julie. Gabby, good? Awesome. So this group all good with 1/9? Good. Wonderful. Okay, back to the packet. So what time are we looking at it about?
It's about 6:30.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to move on to this one. Number 9. We just try to give you a whole assortment. So this is one I might suggest picking numbers. If you want to do the algebra, it's obviously easy. So we want to get the slope of the line. So I'm going to say A is 2. So I'll have 2, 0, and 0, 4. So I'm just going to use my good old rise over run. And so that's going to be 4 minus 0. And I'm going to get a negative 2, which is answer choice A. Okay. Why did I lose my people?
Oh.
Oh,
Sorry.
so Logan's front and center.
Sorry, I just gotta share the screen again.
We're having technical difficulties for just a second.
Silas says he was here for this lesson,
Yeah, I thought he was.
just so you know that.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, hold on. I share the screen. Okay. Sorry, one sec.
Yeah, I thought Silas
Can I
was
see
here. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Oh, we lost the drop word. Right. Let me.
We're having technical problems just for a
Sorry.
second.
You want this to move it?
Yeah.
Sorry, we just ooh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, why can't we see the people? That's weird. Maybe.
There they are.
Yeah, but it's kind of strange. Sorry, we're just having a little technical trouble with Zoom. Maybe if I, no, I don't want to do that. Sorry, everyone. Let's see. Why is this not working?
What if I
I don't know, you might be just not seeing them for a little bit. Wait,
return to meeting right there?
hold on.
There they go.
Okay, maybe I fixed it. Maybe.
Yeah,
Sorry. Let's see here. Come on, Zoom. Okay, I think I did it. Yeah, I did it. Sorry about that. That took a minute.
okay,
Okay,
everybody
so-
get -2 for this one, we're all good. And the other group, all good with a -2? Okay, the next page is probably the hardest thing. That's if you get 3 points, so. There they all are. Okay. I thought Silas did this packet.
Did
Okay,
he leave, I guess? I hope.
yeah, I hope he
Yeah.
did. Okay. Oh,
So he needs next, he needs next Wednesday? Is that what?
I don't know. He
Okay.
was there on Sunday, I knew it.
Yeah,
Okay, this is if we have 3 points, okay? In the XY coordinate plane, so we have the origin, and we have 3K. This would definitely be a harder one. And we have K12. And all of this is the same line. So if they have the same line, I mean, I know that's not going through 0, 0, but do you see this slope has to equal this slope, right? The slopes are equal if it's the same line. But they're all on.
collinear, right? That would be.
Yeah, they call it collinear, yeah. Okay, so let's look at the first one. So if we have 3K and 0, 0, the slope for that would be K, change in Y over the change in X, 3 minus 0. Let me write it out over here because that's on word prop. So we're going to have just K minus 0 over 3 minus 0. Then the next slope is going to be K12 and 0, 0. So that will be 12 minus 0 over K minus 0. So we can get rid of the zeros and then cross multiply, and we will get K squared is 36, and the square root of 36 would be 6. Now that one's a little more complicated. How about this group? Julia, did you follow that? She's got it. Dominic, should I do it again? You're good. Gabby, good? And Will? Good. Okay. Logan, are we good? Good. Jacob, you got it? Should I do it again? Oh, wow, that's a hard one. So on the SAT, be prepared to, if you have a word problem, it's either going to be a slope or a system. So let's look at this situation. A small raindrop measuring 2 millimeters in diameter has a terminal velocity of 12.5. So we know 2, 12.5. A larger raindrop is 5, 20.6. So you can see what we did down below here. We used the slope formula, and we found the slope was 2.7. And then on the next page, we had to put that slope in, and we got B, like we did on the other hard problem. And so now we have the equation for any raindrop in the world, and we put in 3 millimeters, and we get out 15.2. So let's look at this one, number 1. So a break's coming, just hang on. So if I read this problem, we start with nothing. We're putting glass marbles into a cylindrical glass container, right?
I'm just gonna scroll down. You can scroll back up after you read it, I guess.
Yeah. So each marble causes the water level to rise obviously by an equal amount.
So that's linear, right?
Yeah, so it's a linear relationship, so we know we're gonna use y equals mx plus b. The points on the graph above show the heights of the water when 2 and 6 marbles are in the glass. What was the height of the water in the glass before any marbles were added? So
So that's the y-intercept.
so we're trying to find this y-intercept. So we see this line here. We know it's going through somewhere down here, but we don't know really where that is. So let's figure out the slope right here, like we did when we had the 3 points.
You can erase that with the eraser.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
So we're going to take these 2 points and find the slope, like we've been doing all night. But like I said, this isn't a waste of time because these are all over the test. So we have 98 minus 74 over 6 minus 2. So that's going to be 4. And on the top, we're going to get, see, 98, 74, 24 over 4. So our slope is 6. Everybody okay with that? Now, we just have to put it, I'll just write on the graph, y equals mx plus b. I'm going to pick this point.
Well, you're solving for b. So you have y equals 6x plus b.
Yeah, I know. I'm putting in the slope, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to put in this point.
Okay.
So that's 74 equals 6 times 2 plus b. Subtract 12, subtract 12. So 62 is b. And so the answer for the y-intercept is going to be 62. Okay, does that make sense? Yes, this group is good. Jacob, you're good? Good. Next group. Julia, good. Dominic, thumbs up. Gabby and William. Good job. Okay. So now the next page, we're on to systems. So we are done with slopes. So a system is a set of 2 or more equations. So we could have intersecting one solution, infinitely many solutions. You say to yourself, that's the same line. No solution, we already covered quite a bit. It's parallel lines. And obviously you could use Desmos for all of these. Well, mostly.
Most of them, yeah.
Okay. So there's 3 ways to solve it: graphing, substitution, or linear combination. So substitution is we just put one thing in for another. So on next page, see, we've already covered 12 pages already. Okay, so we solve for y, put it in for y, and then we just solve it and get x is 1. Put it in the other equation and we'll get y is 3. Okay, so let's try a substitution one on. Not much more with math, you can see 223, number 8. Okay, here's our equation. We have x plus y is 4. X minus y is 2. I actually would use linear elimination for this one. So the y's will cancel and we'll get 2x is 6. So x is 3. We put that back in remember doing this? Y is 4. So y is going to be 1. So the intersection point is going to be 3, 1. And so that answer is going to be A.
You could even use Desmos too, and it'll draw it for you.
Yeah, you could use Desmos too. So everybody good on this group? Yes. And My other group, we're all good, Logan and Jacob and Sailor. You see how it's A, good. Okay, now I sort of drifted a little to elimination. Remember this in school? So if I have y plus 2x is 5, y plus x is 4, I multiply everything by a negative, and then the y's go away. This will be a negative, and that'll be a negative, and I'll get x is 1. Put it back in my original equation, and y will be 3. Okay, so let's try a book one with this. Like I said, we're home stretching it, guys. So it's 720, page 2720, number 16. So start this one, see how far you can get on it. So we have 3y equals 4x plus 17. And then our next equation is a negative 3y equals 9x. What is that, a minus 23?
Yes.
Thanks. Okay. So now if we do elimination, look what happens. The y's vaporize and go to 0, and we're adding each time. So 0 equals 13x minus 6. So I have to solve for x.
Or there's a quick thing you could do. So if you set 6 is equal to 13x, you
Yeah,
just multiply the 13 by 3, right?
right.
So
So I know x is 6 over 13, but look, the problem asks me, this is where they're hoping you'll make a mistake. It asks for 39x, which I always say it's good to,
right, what I would say is
Yes, I know.
multiply that by 3, that by 3, 6 times
Yes.
3 is
yeah, so 6 times 3 is 18. Or
Right.
we could do
Or you could solve for x.
39.
But sometimes there's a little faster way.
Yeah,
to
there
do
was
it.
a faster way. So this goes 3 times 6 is 18. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. So take a minute and process that. Sailor, you're good. You're my math princess. Logan, you're good. Jacob, yeah. Okay, remember doing this. Gabby, good. Will, Dominic, and Julia, we're all good. Oh, wow, that's good. Okay. So let's go back to the packet. Okay, we're doing the next page. Pretty easy. We're going to do elimination. So we have x. This is just to drill it in your mind so it get you familiar with the problems. X minus y is 2. So the y's go away. We get 2x equals 8 plus 2, which is 10. So x is going to be 5. So the next one, and I like to align the variables. So if we have p plus q, you probably did this in algebra 1. Then we have a q minus the p equals 10. Now we're trying to get p in the end, but right now I'm going to eliminate the p's and I'll get 2q is 10. So q is going to be 5. So if I put p plus 5 is 0, subtract the 5, subtract the 5, p is going to be a negative 5. And if I put the plus 5 in, this would be my trap, right?
Right, if you just put q in.
Yeah, if I put the q in instead of the p. So I would try to get in the habit of circling the prompt so you know what they're asking for. Okay,
You kind of have to just do it like this.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. Let's try this one. So if we have 3a plus b is 9, and a plus b is 1. So I want to eliminate a variable, so I'm going to multiply everything through by a negative. So that'll give me 2a is 8. So a is 4, but they're asking me for b. So I can just put it in a plus b is 1. 4 plus b is 1, subtract the 4. B is a -3. So makes sense, Julia, Dominic, and Gabby, and Will? And my first group, everybody good here? Okay. Now, if it's infinitely many solutions, that should trigger in your mind, I'm trying to do it
Like, yeah, like this. Like that. Yeah, just like this.
okay,
See what I mean?
yeah. So if it's infinitely many solutions, it's the same line. So you could see this would be the same line. Because I put it into y equals mx plus b. And so let's go to if there's no solution, we covered this a lot. They would have the same slope, different y-intercepts. We already covered that. So here's a crazy kind of a problem you might be stymied with, but it's very easy. For what value of k does the linear systems of equations above have an infinite number of solutions? So it's going to be the same line, right? This one is just incognito, wearing sunglasses. It's multiplied by a 3. Everybody see that? To go from this to this, y to 3y, I had to multiply by 3. 16 by 3 is 48. So 2/3 times 3 is just going to be 2. Does that make sense? Take a minute and digest it. Because you can't really find x and y. You're just trying to find the same line. Does that make sense, Logan and Sailor? Jacob, good? Sort of? See, I'm multiplying to go from y to 3y, I had to multiply by a 3. 16 to get to 48, I had to multiply by a 3. So if it's the same line, 2/3 times 3 would give me 2 for k. We'll try another one. That'll help. Maybe. Okay, so look at this one. In the system of equations above, which value of c would result in infinitely many solutions? So we want the same line.
And if you multiply every single variable and everything by the same number, it is still the same line, right?
Yeah, so this we multiply by 3, this we multiply by 3. 144 times 3 is 432 equals 8z. They were a little nasty to us. So I have to divide 432 by 8. And I will get 54.
You divided that 8 off too, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I wish this class. So we're good with this one? Good. Other group, all good? Good. Okay, let's try this one. Number 3. So we already did one like this. No solution is parallel lines, which is the same slope. So we have to put this into y equals mx plus b mode. So I'm going to subtract the 8x. That'll give me 5y is minus 8x plus 10. Divide everything through by a 5. And so the slope has to be a -8/5 with a different y-intercept. This one is 2, this is a half. So it has to be b. I know we're drilling this in quite a bit, but is that good? Good, thank you. Everybody good back in this world? Thumbs up. Good. Okay, let's try this next one. Which of the following equations represents a line that's parallel? So we have to work the equations. There's no way out of it. So let's try A. We need a slope of -2 and a different y-intercept. So if we have 4x plus 2y is 11, I subtract the 4x from both sides. I will get 2y equals -4x plus 11. Divide everything by 2. So I have y equals -2x plus 5.5. That's just what I want. I want a slope of -2 and a different y-intercept. So that makes sense, right? Good. Now this one, no solution. Let's fly like an eagle above the problem and try to see what we have to do here. So to go from x to y, you see I'm multiplying by 2. So to go from 10 to a, I would have to divide by 2. And 10 divided by 2 would give me 5. Does that make sense? So I have 5x plus 10y is 15. And what I did, sorry, it's like an R. It's so hard to write on this glass thing. 1/5 x plus 2/5 y is a -6. So
You're multiplying everything by 25, I guess.
I multiply.
2/5 times 25 will give you 10.
Yeah. Or I could just see that I'm multiplying by 2, the y by the x by 2, and I'm dividing the 10 by 2 to get 5.
Okay.
Good. Okay, so let's go to the next page.
Like this.
I need education in how to move the screen. He keeps telling me to pinch it, and how do you pinch a 2D object? I don't know. Okay, so in the system of equations above, A and B are constants. If the system has infinitely many solutions, what's A over B? Well, A over B would just be 3 over 4. So I could put in 3 over 4 or 0.75. So now you're going to nail
You're
all.
gonna drive me crazy. Keep saying that.
No.
Like this.
Okay,
Okay.
let's try number 7. 2x plus 2y is 20. 2x plus y is 16. And we circle the prompt because it's not an x or a y. So what I'm going to do is just multiply everything through by a negative. Or I don't know if you could use decimals on this easily, if it'd be easier. So we would get y is 4. Then I have to put it back in. So 2x plus 4 is 16. Subtract the 4. 2x is 12. So x is 6. So 2 times 6 minus y. 12 minus 4 on this planet would be 8. So let me just see. Is this Logan, you're good, and Sailor, you're good? Jacob, you've had this. Okay, other group. Julia's good. Gabby. William, you're good. Back there you're in the shadows. And Dominic, you're good. I can see a thumbs up. That's good. Okay, now this one. I'm gonna drive Jimmy nuts. That was okay, let's try number 8. So if we have 2a, a break is coming, I promise. So this one, it just gives us b, so I might as well just put this in for b, substituting. So I'll have 2a plus 5/2 a equals 9. And then 2a, this is just 2.5a, 2.5a. So that's 4.5a is 9. Divide both sides by 4.5. So a is going to be 2. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. Good? Other group, good? Yay, 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 yay. Now, if they give you a word problem, which they could do, I don't like to use X and Y because you forget who was the X and who was the Y, right? So just let's use their initials. So I'm just translating this into a math equation. So I'll say Tom plus Keith have $90 in stock. That's pretty simple, right? Now I'm doing the next equation, which is 2T equals K plus $30. I just took the second equation. Twice the value of Tom's stock is 30 more than K. So I subtract the K from both sides. And then the K's will vaporize and I'll get 3 Toms, because this is 1 Tom, equals 120. So Tom's stock is $40, but we want Keith's, which is 90 minus 40, which will be 50. And so that's sort of our first word problem. So take a minute. Sailor, are you good with that one, hon? Jacob, sort of good. Logan, good. So even though it's a word problem, what about this group? Julie, are you good with this one? Dominic's good. Gabby and Will. Gabby's good. Wow. And so if you get a word problem, it might be something like that. So now we haven't seen any of this hard, so we're not going to do number 10 because they took that off the test. So now we're doing just a little bit more. We're on page 18. So lines of best fit. So you know this. The line of best fit will have the same slope according to the points and also the same number of points above and below it. So this would be positive linear, negative linear, positive exponential.
Please, like this.
I'm doing that.
No, you're not. You're going like, I don't
Oh,
know what you're
okay.
doing. You're doing something weird.
Okay.
Sorry. Just driving me crazy.
Okay. I'll get it before the night's out. So the line of best fit would be something like this. So now,
Like this.
okay, let's look at the
Sure.
example.
Can you do that?
I can do
Yeah,
that.
okay,
Okay. I'm challenged moving the screen. Okay, here we have some cell phones. So the screen height and width of 6 different cell phones or tablets are shown in the scatter plot above, measured in pixels. What's the height in pixels of the device represented by the data point furthest from the line of best fit? So the line of best fit would sort of go like here. This guy is an outlier. What's his height? We read off the closest we can. And it will be 1280. So let's go to a couple of book problems. So let's try 372, number 18.
There's a line on that page, but or there's a question, but it might be number 3.
Yeah, we're looking at number 3. I'm sorry. Now, we don't really have to take a lot of time with this and calculate slope. So if we fly like an eagle above the problem, look at this. The scatter plot above shows the relationship between two variables, x and y. A line of best fit is also shown. Which of the following equations represents the best line of best fit? So look at it. The y-intercept has to be a positive 13.5, right? So right away, this is our difficulty one too. I know it has to be A or B, right? So if I look at A or B, because it's not a negative 13.5, and if I look at the slope, if it's this way, it has to be negative. And so I don't, even though this is a module 2, I don't have to do any calculating. I would just figure out that the answer would be B. Does that make sense? You don't, and so if you fly like an eagle above it and just eliminate, you don't have to do much, even though it's a higher difficulty question. Was that 372? Yeah, let's try. Let's try 1072, number 18. Okay. So we have a line here. And what I have to do is get the slope. So I would just, and they know you can't read it exact. And we're going to not look at the points. We're looking at the line of best fit. And so this point would definitely be 0, 14. And the other point would maybe be 12, 1 ish.
212 is pretty close too. It's not exact, but it's close enough.
Yeah. And so let's try the slope formula, which we've been doing all night. So we would have 14 minus 1 is 13. And 0 minus 12 would give us a negative 12. And so that's going to give us approximately negative 1.1, which is B. So Julian, Dominic, you're good. Gabby, everybody good here? Will? Good. Other group, Logan, Jacob, and Sailor, good. Okay. So now we're still in the packet. And we're doing, and we only have not many pages left. That was the outlier. Okay, let's look at this one. Scatter plot above shows fish caught hourly by fishermen. So I have to get the equation. They already gave me the slope of 1. So I know it's going to be 1x plus b. And I want to get, so I want to draw a line of best
So
fit.
you just need B, right?
Yeah, I just need the y-intercept. So I'm going to draw this as best as I can. So let's see if I try to go. I know it's going to be hard for me to draw this on this line, but let's say I'm trying to, I know that this is going to be down here somewhere. So I'm trying to gauge the line. And so right away, I sort of see the 26, wait a minute.
26.7's might be close. I don't know.
26, 8. I would try to,
26.8.
yeah.
They know you can't get it exact.
They know we can't get it exact. So I know that I have 26, if I fish for 26 hours, I'll get a whopping 8 fish. So now all I have to do is put these points back in this equation. So I'll have 8 equals 26 plus B, subtract 26. 20, that'll be a negative 18 equals B. And so my equation would be answer choice B. That's good with everybody? Okay, awesome. The next page, 21 pages, we're doing good. This was in the news lately because now they're serving whole milk to all the kids in schools. Trump signed something. So remember, we're looking at the line of best fit, not the points. And I'm sorry, this is so hard to write on here. Okay, we want to get the decrease in gallons. So let's pick 2 points. So I can sort of see that in 2000,
It's like 5.
people drank about 5 gallons of whole milk. And then in 1950,
I said 32, but I don't know.
okay, we'll say 33. Just a little over. So now I
You
just,
don't have to get it perfect.
you don't have to get it perfect. So I'm just going to use my slope formula. So 33 minus 5 is going to be 28 over negative 50, which is approximately a little over 5. So the answer would be this.
Oh, you're really, really close. You won't even know what it is?
Yeah, what is it?
It's negative 0.56. You were,
My point.
yeah,
But
you picked a good, man, that's a good estimation there.
I never get a positive thing from him, so that's good. I'll take it.
Oh,
So-
why are all the answers positive if the slope is negative?
Because they already have decrease in the problem. Do you see that? So even though the answer is negative, they covered their backs by saying decrease. Okay, and so now our last little bit will be done in just a second once I move the screen. Okay, so the next page, you know, this is how they mark quadrants. So let's look at this one. You can see we're coming to the end of this. Okay, in the XY coordinate plane above, line L not shown contains the point 0, 4. So here's the line, and this is my question. A horizontal line, this is why I put this problem in here. Who remembers what the slope of a horizontal line is? Anybody? It's 0. Very good, Jacob. And so if it's vertical, it's undefined, right? Just a review. So the slope here would be 0. Let's go to the next couple problems and we're done. So remember, you probably did this in middle school, and Desmos will actually color this for you.
Yeah, it can do these and it'll color the
Yeah.
it'll shade above or below the
So
line.
let's look at this, a system of inequalities. So y is bigger than x. So we want bigger than x, so we would shade this part, right? Remember when you did this in middle school? I can't believe Desmos will color it for you.
It will. It's so great.
And so then 10 minus 2/3 will be under this line. Remember doing this? And so both solutions would be in section B. Okay. And then the last page. Yay.
Yay.
You guys get a break. A lot of math, but I drilled a lot, but now I know you'll get a lot of, at least 100 points from lines and angles. So let's look at this one. In the system of inequalities, y is less than 2x minus 1. So we're going to go down to minus 1
And you could type these into Desmos if you wanted.
up
Mrs.
to,
Hustle's just going to draw on it.
yeah, I'm just going to draw it. And then the next one is -5. And slope is
Positive
1, up 1 over 1. And so we want The solution for both of these will be in these quadrants down here, and there will never be anything in quadrant 2. Good? Okay. I'll have you try this one. A system of inequalities, y is less than x.
Just shade right on your paper. You can use your regular pencil.
Yeah, just use your
It'll-
pencil.
It'll be fine.
Y is less than a negative x. So this is our negative x. And so if we shade under negative x, and then if I shade
You
shade,
didn't get the color. There you go.
and now if I shade, I don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
Now if I want to shade y is bigger than 2x plus 4,
That's
this line.
Yep.
So y is going to be bigger. And the solution set will be in section X, which is answer choice B. So let me just ask, good with this group? This wasn't a hard lesson. So everybody good here? Julia and Dominic, Gabby and Will, we're all good? Okay, awesome. So let's take a break.
Can you just write be back at 7:30?
Yeah,
They could have 10 minutes.
okay. So you can grab something to eat. You're going to need the packet that's Common App Essay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so take a little break. We'll see you back. We'll be done at 8:30. Thank you, guys.
All right, it is 7:30, so please put your camera on if you are back. Hey, I see Jacob, I see people, I see I see everybody. You just need this Common App essay packet. So find the packet. I'm going to bring it up while you look for the packet. And we'll be done by 8:30, I promise. Hi everybody, welcome back. We're just doing the Common App essay, if you could find that packet. All right. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the Common App essay. So this isn't the SAT, but um, the Common Application is a tool that you can use to apply to over 900 colleges and universities. So we thought it was a good idea to go over this. You may use the Common App. You may some schools have their own application, but just because you can just the sheer amount of schools you can apply to with one application, we thought we'd go over this today. And we'll be back to the SAT for every other class, but we wanted to talk a little bit about the admission essay. Okay. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention, many of you took Blue Book practice tests. So just make sure that you go over your test with the solutions. The solutions are on collegeboard.org and they are also in this Blue Book. Many of you took test 4. So they should be in there or on College Board. All right, so we're going to briefly talk about why there's an essay often for college admission. Okay, so your transcript paints a quantitative picture of who you are as a candidate. So it'll have your GPA, for example, but it doesn't give much qualitative information about who you are, what's important to you, what your character is. Basically, they want to know: do you have a positive character? Do you value the same type of things that they value, their organization, their institution? Yeah, so your GPA can't answer these questions. Who are you as an individual? What are your personal values or beliefs? Do they align with those of this institution? So scores don't really answer these types of questions. Um, so that's why they have an essay often. And I say the essay is very similar to like a job interview. So they don't just hire people based on resume alone, which would be like a transcript. They want to know what you are like and what you believe and that type of thing, what your character is like. Otherwise, they would just hire people, right, but based on who has the best resume. But yeah, so in the essay is sort of like the interview itself, if that makes sense, just to use a metaphor. All right, so the admission process has always kind of looked like this. So scores alone can't answer these types of questions. So many colleges desire a clearer picture. Basically, they're trying to confirm everything else that they have on file about you. All right, so the essay is your chance to shine and demonstrate what is most important to you. Which values or character traits best define you? Is helping your local community important? Is leaving the world in a better place important? What's important? This is the assignment in a nutshell, so I'll just underline it. Can you establish a claim about yourself? Support it with evidence from your own life, and express yourself clearly within the conventions of standard written English. So that's mainly what we're trying to do with the essay. And the nice thing is you have every resource you need to perform this task because it is fundamentally about you, and you know more about yourself than anyone else. No one else could actually perform this task. Only you could write an essay about yourself. Yeah, so you have all the information you need. You know about yourself. All right, so you've written many essays in school, so you are used to supporting claims with evidence. This is exactly what you're going to be doing with this essay. So normally if you're writing a paper, I don't know, paper about the Scarlet Letter, you would make some claim about the book. That's your thesis, and then you would support that thesis with evidence from the book, like a quotation or a paraphrase from the book. But in this case, you're just going to use events that actually occurred to you from your own life to support the claim that you're making about yourself. All right, so the colleges you apply to will use a variety of information to make their selection. I'm gonna just go over all the things that they look at. So they're gonna look at the courses you took. So these are on your transcript. They'll look at your class rank. They'll see how you measured up compared to everyone else at your school. They will look at your GPA. They will look at SAT and ACT scores. That's why we're spending so much time on the SAT. And they will also read letters of recommendation that you will provide. So you will be collecting these from your teachers in the coming months, and they are important. Letters of recommendation are important. Um, but colleges can afford to be selective. The harder the school is to get into, the more prestigious they are, the more requirements they tend to have. So not all colleges require an essay, but many do. That's why you may end up writing one. And it is part of the Common App, which is just short for application, Common Application. So you can use it to apply to over 900 schools. Top schools accept the Common App. Stanford, CMU, they accept the Common App. So really, really hard to get into schools take it. And then medium schools accept the Common App, and every not every school, but many schools. Over 900 colleges and universities accept it the last time I checked, and I'm sure that number just goes up over time. So that's not quite half of the colleges and universities in this country, but it's a lot. So you can it's a wonderful tool for you, the applicant, just because you can apply to so many schools with one application. It makes your life easier, really, because it's just the same application that you can use for many, many schools. There might be some variation. Like schools can add their own questions on top of, they can add specific questions for specific schools, but it's the same application generally. So that's good news for you. It makes their lives easier too. It makes the schools. It's kind of good for everybody. All right. So the essay allows the schools to different. Oh, this is important enough that I want to underline it. The essay allows the schools to differentiate among top, medium, and borderline candidates. That's why they use an essay often. So if they're even reading your essay, it means that they like you. It means that they want you in the program, because I can look at your GPA in seconds. I can look at your class rank in seconds. I can look at your SAT or ACT score in seconds. If I'm going to read your essay, that's going to take minutes. So they're not going to read every single essay that is sent to them through the Common App. They just won't. So if they're you guys can hear me? Okay, sorry. I was worried I bumped the mute button. Yeah, anyway, if they're even reading your essay, that's great news for you. It means that they like you. They use it to differentiate among top candidates, medium candidates, and borderline candidates. So it's good news if they're even reading your essay. They don't read them all. If they decided, oh, this person, their GPA is too low, the SAT score is too low, we're not going to consider this individual. They're not going to read that person's essay. But if you're fine when it comes to all the quantitative information I was talking about, if you're good there, then they like to read the essay to differentiate you between some other candidate who has a similar score. So, like, imagine we have two candidates. We have candidates A and B. Each one has a 1300 SAT score. Each one has a similar GPA. How can I tell these two students apart? Well, they start to look at things like your extracurricular activities. That's why they care about those. They look at your essay. They'll read the essays at that point because they're trying to figure out which one's the better candidate. They have limited capacity in the freshman class, and the more prestigious the school is, the more selective they are, and they can be really picky. Just because of the prestige associated with that degree. So a degree from one school is not the same as a degree from another school. A degree from a top school, let's say you want to go into business in your career, a degree from Wharton is going to be worth more than a degree from, I don't know. I'm sure like Pitt is a great school, but yeah, something like Pitt. Um, or even Schreier's. I went to Penn State, so there is a business school at Penn State. I forget the name of it, but a Wharton degree is worth more. Like and it's more expensive. It even costs more for you to obtain that degree because it's the top business program in this country at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. So that's sort of yeah, so the yeah, I'm trying to say is that the harder the school is to get into, the more requirements they tend to have, and then essays tend to matter more and that sort of thing. And then they have so many people want to get into that particular school because it is so prestigious. It's going to correlate with a higher salary for the entirety of your career potentially. So, I mean, that's why you want to attend the best university you can get into, basically. That would be my suggestion. So, and there's a right, at the same time, there is the right school for everyone here. I mean this. Like you're going to find, you're like a puzzle piece, and you're going to find or a Tetris piece. You're going to find exactly where you go. So some schools are renowned for their art programs. Maybe you want to go into the visual arts. Some schools are renowned for STEM, somewhere like CMU I just mentioned, or Stanford. That would be a fantastic school if you want to go into STEM. There are schools that are known for music. Oberlin would be a good example for that, or Curtis, one of the top music schools in this country. So it kind of depends on what you want to study as well, where you might you want to start applying. I just want to mention that like I don't know. I think I'm meandering, but colleges use essays because the quality of your writing is important. Essays matter. That's why the application often includes an essay. So schools also have their own applications, and their essay prompts may differ from the Common App. We're just going to go over the Common App prompts, but the essays are very similar because they're all trying to use them to do the same thing, just differentiate among top, medium, and borderline candidates. So there are two general types of questions that they ask. There's the why me essay, but there's also the why us essay. These are the two main questions that they will generally ask. So a why me essay is um, these 7 prompts are all why me questions. They want to know why am I the best candidate? What makes me special? What do I do that others don't necessarily do? How do I overcome difficulties and make it look so easy? Um, you know, why am I such a fascinating student, basically? And then the why us question is a little different. The why us question, you explain why they are such a fantastic university and why you want to study there. So you can talk a little bit about their history. You would do a little bit of research about when this institution was created, and maybe look and to see some people who attended there. Or you could even do some research into the professors at the university and like a particular program you would want to be involved in. Maybe you want to study microbiology, and you know that this professor just recently published a paper explaining this neat new thing that they're finding out about DNA. You could talk a little bit about why you find this research to be so fascinating and why you would want to be involved in this institution. So that's the why us question. These are not why us questions. These are all why me. So you're just explaining why I'm so great, why I belong here. You don't know it yet, but I can prove it to you in 650 words. I'm gonna explain why I am the ideal candidate. Okay, so it is the Common App essay is your personal statement. It is also the college's opportunity to better get to know who you are as a person, and scores don't really show us that, so that's why you're going to talk a little bit about yourself, what you find to be important, what matters to you. Essays allow colleges to judge the depth of your understanding of social issues, and you should be able to self-evaluate. A hallmark of higher learning is creativity, and writing a good essay takes creativity, absolutely. So you will utilize your creative side to craft an intimate portrait of yourself, who you are at this point in time. You can think of the Common App essay as similar to the cover letter for a resume. Pardon me. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, so it's similar to a cover letter for your resume, or I've been saying it's similar to a job interview, like if your transcript is like a job resume, um, the essay is like the job interview itself. It really can be that important. It can make or break your application. It absolutely may be the reason you do get into a particular school, but it could also be the reason that you didn't get into the school. And you'll never know if it was the essay that did it. They don't explain when if they send you a rejection letter, it's not going to tell you why they didn't, pick someone else. It's just going to say it's going to usually they always start with we regret to inform you. So if you ever see any kind of regret to inform you, yeah, that's not good. So anyway, it's similar to the job interview. And you may say, well, wouldn't I be paying them? How is it like a job interview? You are paying them tuition ultimately, but it is very similar to a job interview because it's so competitive. They're holding all the cards. If this is if this is a degree that could lead to a lucrative career, everybody kind of wants in the school. And especially if there's so much prestige associated with it, if it's an Ivy League school or that top 20, that type of thing, you can even go on LinkedIn and you can sort colleges by average salary post graduation. That's a good way to look for schools. It really kind of matters where you ultimately go to some extent because we all need to make a living. Yeah, and like a Harvard MBA absolutely is worth a Harvard MBA is worth $1 million, no question. It just is because you could become a CEO for some major corporation and you can make a lot of money with those kind of credentials. All right, so you can think, yeah, so it's kind of like the job interview, sort of any kind of written portion of your application is very important. So that would mean essays, letters of recommendation are written. So those are very important. They look at them very carefully. They take them seriously. What did this instructor say about his pupil? So they'll read those. Those are important. Sometimes schools even have additional short answer questions. Maybe they're usually around 250 words. Maybe you have to answer five of those as well as submit a Common App essay. It's going to vary from institution to institution, but they're trying to just figure out more about you, what matters to you, what do you feel to be important in this world, what makes you special. Those why me questions. You explain why you're the best candidate, basically, just as you would you're making a case for yourself, just as you would in a job interview. You're trying to demonstrate that I am the reliable candidate. I am the exceptional candidate. Forget her application. You want me, like you want me in your program. You don't want her or him, whoever, right? Pick me. Your essay should scream, pick me. I'm gonna get to that part in a second, but that's what you want it to do. That's the function it should serve. So the style of your essay will be formal though, even though you're talking about yourself. But it'll be less formal than you were perhaps used to. I would say that humor is okay. It's okay to have a funny essay. It is okay to entertain your audience. I would just be careful with certain types of humor. I would avoid self-deprecating humor. Don't disparage yourself or mock yourself, because that would be you're belittling yourself in that case. We don't want to do that. You're trying to build yourself up. So I'd be careful with I would just avoid self-deprecating humor entirely. I would avoid sarcasm. They want a serious answer to the questions that they ask. They want you to take the assignment seriously. So I would just be careful if your humor is overly caustic. I would avoid sarcasm. Sarcasm famously doesn't translate well to the printed word. They may take it at face value and just say, well, this person really doesn't want to attend here. Look at this essay. He didn't take this assignment seriously at all. So they take it seriously. They read a lot of these essays. I want to go over a few other major pitfalls just because um, they're really important. Do not use AI to write your essay. So they read a million. They read so many of these essays. They spend so much time reading essays, they know what an AI essay sounds like generally. And they don't even have to prove that you used AI to write the essay. They just have to suspect it. And if they suspect it, they're going to pick someone else. Basically, if they just even think it's AI, if they think that a human didn't craft this, they're going to pick someone else. Yeah. So the old version of this, before AI existed, was just plagiarism. Students would often plagiarize the essay, and that's not good either. So just avoid any type of plagiarism, whether it's AI or not. Don't have anyone else write your essay. If they suspect your essay is a DDI, I'm gonna put the DDI right here. They'll just write DDI on your essay, and you're not getting in. It stands for Daddy did it. So if they think Daddy did it, they're gonna pick someone else. Because an older, like a young person has a particular voice. Often it's possible to realize, did a young person write this? I don't think so. This sounds like an older gentleman maybe wrote this. So watch out for DDIs. Don't plagiarize anything. It's okay to show your essay to other people and get their opinion of it. This is something you prepare in advance, and you can get a second set of eyes on the essay. You show it to a colleague, show it to one of your friends. You just ask your friend, does this sound like a good essay to you? Would you accept this person as a candidate at this school if you work there? What should I change? Do you think this paragraph's working for me? Would you change anything? You think it's okay? That's fine. You're allowed to do that, but you're not allowed to have anyone write your essay. Everything that you create is your personal statement. So you wrote it all yourself. It's very important. I just have to get that out of the way because I'm sure, especially now that AI is ubiquitous, I'm sure that students are out there thinking, I can just type it in the computer. It'll make me a Common App essay in a millisecond. But you don't want that essay. You don't want it to sound like AI wrote it. You don't want it to sound like an older person wrote it. It should sound like a young person wrote it. Anyway, okay, so it is going to be it's going to be very personal in nature. You're talking about yourself. The I pronoun will dominate your essay. And it may feel strange to open up and candidly reveal aspects of your life to complete strangers, but it's okay. If they require an essay, everyone has to do it. So it's not a big deal. There are strategies I'm going to go over and ways of approaching this assignment, so it should be no problem. It's only 650 words. It's like a page. It's not much. So it's not a long essay. It's very relatively short essay. Okay, so you control the narrative. You're going to tell a true story about your life, and you get to play the main character in that story, which is nice. And the number one thing that they're looking for is authenticity. They're looking for sincerity. Does this sound credible? Does it sound like these events actually happened? If you're explaining a story from your childhood, does it sound believable? Does this sound like a real candidate? Does this sound like a strong candidate? They're looking for that the whole time that they're reading your essay. If your essay lacks individuality and just appears to be a generic response with no kind of conviction behind it, this would diminish your opportunities. So it's only a page long, although your rough draft should be longer, maybe up to double that word length limit. Maybe start at 1,200, 1,000 words. You're going to trim it down as you realize what's working and what's not working for the essay. You might say, okay, I can remove this entire paragraph. It's not really doing much for my essay. What was I thinking? You just take it off. So you'll just do this in a word processor, trim it down, correct punctuation, correct spelling, correct grammar. It all counts. Okay, so you'll cut the chaff and be left with a stunning personal statement that screams "pick me." That's what we want. You want your writing to be interesting, even entertaining. Some of the best essays have humor in them. That's perfectly fine. I would just watch out for pessimism, overly negative humor, sarcasm. You don't want self-deprecating humor. But it's okay if you tell some kind of entertaining story about yourself or something that happened to you when you were younger. That's fine. Anyway, you want to be you do want to maintain formality. So just as you would if you were in a job interview, you would maintain formality with the person who's interviewing you. You want this to be pretty formal. Um, because they have the power to deny your application for any number of reasons. They may not get your particular brand of humor. They might just, not like it. They might just miss it or misunderstand it. I mean, avoid slang. I would not use any type of slang at all in your essay. Just use standard written English, formal standard written English. Spelling counts, grammar counts, everything counts. Be sure to proofread your submission for errors. Maybe even have a buddy proofread it. Just make sure that your grammar is okay. That's fine. You can't have anyone else write your essay. That's the difference there. But it's okay to ask people for some feedback. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, don't have a parent write the essay, just write your own essay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Common App. So the Common App was created in 1975 at Vassar. That's a great school. It is designed to make the college admission process simpler for the colleges and for you, the applicant. Over 900 colleges accept the Common Application. I'm sure that number is even higher today. It allows you to apply to multiple colleges with a single application, and it is important to note that the Common App has always included an essay. So we're going to talk a little bit about the essay prompts. So they give you a lot of different essay prompts. There are 7. I'm going to read them all, and they're not all created equally. Some prompts I think are easier to write and more accessible for everyone. Some of these prompts I would consider to be advanced, better left to a more advanced writer. It sort of depends on your writing ability, kind of. And writing is an art form. Essay writing is absolutely an art form. Some people are good at it, some people not so good at it, but it's fine. You have so much time to prepare your essay and your application. But I would start thinking about this kind of stuff now, just so it's going to make the application process easier for you if you do. So yeah, so once you log into the Common App on a computer, you would just send your Common App essay through cyberspace. That's how it works. Okay, so I'm gonna go over some prompts. This is what I want to underline. It doesn't matter which prompt you select, as long as it's one that allows you to provide insight into your identity in ways that aren't reflected in other parts of your application. That's why they ask for an essay often. So I know what your GPA is, I know what your SAT score is. Tell me something about yourself that isn't, already in your application. All right, so I'm going to go over some prompts. I'm going to read some of these, and you might read one of these prompts and you might just say, that's my prompt. This is a perfect prompt for me. This fits me. I can talk about this all day, all day long. But some of these prompts you might say, I don't know if I want to write this one. So I'm going to go over them all. I'm just going to read them first. Here's the first prompt. Some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, then please share your story. The lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from the experience? Reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? Reflect on something that someone has done for you that has made you happy or thankful in a surprising way. How has this gratitude affected or motivated you? Discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth in a new understanding of yourself or others. Describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging that it makes you lose all track of time. Why does it captivate you? Unfortunately, there's a grammatical error in this prompt. To what or whom do you turn when you wish to learn more? And then here's the last one. Share an essay on any topic of your choice. It can be one you've already written, one that responds to a different prompt, or one of your own design. So that's the open-ended essay prompt. We can come up with any prompt we like. So those are all the prompts. One by one, I'm just going to go through them. We're going to talk about some pros and cons of the prompts, and then we'll talk a little bit about the structure of your essay. Okay, so yeah, so mainly the colleges are going to look at your GPA. It's the number one thing they look at. Next, they will look at SAT or ACT score. This is arguably the third thing. So that's why the essay is important. All right, the talent or interest prompt. Some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful they believe their application will be incomplete without it. Okay, so this would be a good prompt for talented people. So maybe you are going to play a sport for a particular school. You are a recruited athlete. This would be a great prompt for a recruited athlete. So maybe you're going to be swimming for that school. what has swimming taught you about leadership? That's your prompt right here. Yeah. Okay. It could be a good prompt for, I'm trying to think of some other talented people. Maybe you're a musician. Maybe you've been studying piano your whole life. You're going to study music education and you want to become a music teacher. You can explain where this musical talent has brought you over the years. You could talk about those piano competitions that you competed in when you were young. Well, you lost that competition, unfortunately, but that just motivated you all the more to try again, something like that. Background, identity, interest, or talent. Interest could be a potential major. So maybe you want to study to become a meteorologist. You like the weather, which we're going to get a lot of crazy weather, I guess, coming up. So you want to become a meteorologist. So you want to study earth and mineral sciences at Penn State so that you can become a meteorologist. Tell me what fascinates you about this interest that you have. Um, yeah, so maybe a particular student takes barometric pressure readings at home, temperature readings every day at home, records them. Maybe this student has a windsock. Maybe this student uses publicly available data from the National Weather Forecast, or sorry, from the National Weather Service. Maybe the student uses this publicly available data to forecast the weather. He creates his own weather forecast, then he compares it to the forecast that he watches on the Weather Channel later that day. He watches the Weather Channel every day. You see where I'm going with this? Like it sounds like a real person. This person's out there somewhere. This person who's very interested in this topic. All right, so this would be a good one for those type of people. I'm going to keep going just in the interest of time. The number two prompt. This is maybe my favorite prompt of all of them. I've been sort of calling this the Rocky prompt because it kind of sounds like Rocky. The lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from the experience? I like that this prompt allows you to play the main character in a true story about yourself. So you're the protagonist, and you're overcoming some kind of difficulty, some type of failure, some kind of struggle. There's a struggle here. You're surmounting some type of obstacle. This is the most popular interview question, I believe, like a job interview. So explain. They never say, okay, at a job interview, they never say, okay, explain an easy day at your prior employer. Like a day where you didn't really have to do much. You kind of clocked in, you kind of just before you knew it, the day was over, and then you went home. They always ask you, explain what happened when there was difficulty. What did you do to lead your team to success? How did you overcome the problem? How did you, what did you do? How did you surmount the difficulty? What did you do to achieve the success that you enjoy to this day? Something like that. They always ask this in a job interview. This is every football movie that's ever been made. I've never seen a football movie where it's 36-0. Okay, roll the credits. Movie's over. You're always the main team, the protagonist team is always down by a few points at the half or something. It's just a common trope. But I'm saying you can use that to your advantage, right from that kind of perspective. You're that guy, you're the quarterback or something. You're telling a true story about yourself. Obviously, I'm using a metaphor here. You're going to talk about something that happened to you in your life. There. Before I get too far, I kind of want to just mention something. There's a book called Essays That Worked. I have a copy right here. Write this down. I suggest you buy this book. It's called Essays That Worked. It's a purple book. I'm going to read you the whole title. It's $10. Just buy this book. If you're going to college, buy this book. If you're not going to college, don't buy the book. But if you're going to go to college, buy this book. It's awesome. So it's called Essays That Worked, College Applications, 50 essays that help students get into the nation's top colleges, with comments from admissions officers: Yale, Harvard, Duke, Georgetown, Davidson, Williams, Penn, Rice, Grinnell, Stanford, Princeton, Oberlin, Berkeley, Wellesley, Swarthmore. Yeah, this book is awesome. The New York Times says 50 admissions essays, each one a winner. This book is great. So these are just essays that were written by students like you. These are just written by young people like you trying to get into the top schools in this country, and they are fantastic essays. I am sure that the people in this book, some of them are now journalists, some of them are now politicians, some of them are now writing literature. I am sure of it. You can tell when you read these essays that these people are the cream of the crop. They impress these people. If they're pressing the officers from Harvard, Yale, etc., they are that good. I would just read this book. They're short. They're a page, 2 pages long. You can just read some of these. Um, and they have a whole chapter on lessons about obstacles, overcoming obstacles. They have chapters about essays about relationships. They have chapters about self-realization. They have all sorts of essays in here. So I love this book. I would recommend that you get a copy of this book. One of the essays in this book is about overcoming obstacles. I think the student had a speech impediment when he was younger, and he was talking about working with his speech therapist and uh, how that motivated him. And I think he mentions a few famous people who also had speech impediments. I think James Earl Jones was one of the examples that this person used in here. But that was a good essay. I would just this is a great book. So there are other books about the college application essay. This is the best one. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, back to the prompt. I got a little sidetracked, but I wanted to mention that before I got too far because it's just got so many great essays. And if you want to learn how to write a great college essay, you should read some great college essays because where else are you going to find these? They don't. This is where they published them all. So or 50 of them. So that should be plenty to get an impression of how these should sound. So you're the main character in a true story about yourself. This is every football movie. This is, I don't know. Yeah. All right. Overcoming difficulties. Challenges, setbacks, and failures are universal. So that means they are part of the human condition. Everyone has experienced some type of challenge, setback, or failure. And they are what motivate us to improve, and they are what define us. Like, here's an interesting thing to think about. If life were never challenging, maybe you were artificially insulated from the harsher realities of life somehow. Maybe you were coddled by someone. Because we've all experienced some type of challenge, setback, or failure. What did you do when you encountered this challenge? Did you curl up and die? Did you give up? Of course not, right? So they are what create our character. They make us who we are. The easy times in life don't show us so much about who we are as people. It's the harder times in life that define us. You create your positive character. You create that drive within yourself from hardship. It doesn't come from the easy part of life, right? It comes from setbacks, comes from failures. So, can you write about one? All right, let's see. All right, I'm going to keep going. Yeah, it's the negative experiences that create who we are. It's strange, it's counterintuitive. I don't understand it totally, but trust me, it does. Let's keep going. Oh, I've been calling this one the Galileo prompt just because it kind of sounds like Galileo. Reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? Okay, so Galileo was an astronomer. He famously championed the idea of heliocentricity. This is the idea that the sun is the center of the solar system and not the Earth. Everyone else thought the Earth was the center. They were all wrong. Galileo was right. Every single other scientist on the planet was wrong. A few people believed it to be this way. And yeah, so reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. I consider this prompt to be an advanced prompt. I'm not saying it's impossible to write. I'm just saying that they intentionally worded this prompt in the negative. Notice they don't have a prompt like, okay, tell me about that time when you did that nice thing that helped all of those people. No, it's reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. Maybe you challenged authority. You see how like I think they're trying to attract a certain like a rebellious type of person to write a prompt, or maybe the idea would that just you might You might be appear to be too confrontational or anti-establishment in your response. So what happened when you questioned that teacher, you challenged that teacher. He was clearly wrong. I was right. I proved it in front of the whole class. What happened? Well, I got detention. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think they're just trying to attract a particular type of person, maybe a rebellious nature, I don't know. But so I'm not saying don't write it. I'm just saying that they intentionally made it, or they intentionally wrote this prompt in the negative. So it's fine as long as you're aware of that and you don't, just make sure you don't come across as too confrontational. I'm sure this could be a fine prompt, but it may be advanced. The gratitude prompt is a little strange. Reflect on something that someone has done for you that has made you happy or thankful in a surprising way. How has this gratitude affected or motivated you? So this one's kind of interesting because you are supposed to be the main character in this true story about yourself. And now I have to start with somebody else. So I only have 650 words and I have to start talking about some other person, what this kind person did for me that made me happy or thankful. And then I have to make the argument that this gratitude has led me to become a more generous person, and now I help others in a similar fashion. It just seems kind of strange. Like I have to start with someone else, and then I have to make this story somehow about me. I'm not saying you can't write this prompt. I'm just saying that if I'm writing a story about myself, now I have to start with some other character. I think whatever this person did that made you happy or thankful, it would have to be intangible. Like it couldn't be like my parents bought me a car. It's pretty fast. I love this car. It can't be. It'd have to be like, okay, so I'm gonna come up with another fictional student. So perhaps my grandfather gave me art lessons when I was a child. So every weekend we would go to the Carnegie Museum. We would we would bring sketch paper and we would just sketch the various sculptures. And then he taught me to appreciate art. He taught me that there's beauty in this world. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but it's because of these art lessons that he gave me as a child that I know that I would like to study the visual arts at Penn State University. I want to show others that beauty exists in this world. I want to help them to know what he taught me, something like that. So that would work, something intangible, but can't be a car. I'm going to keep moving. Uh, yeah, this is just sort of this situation here. So you become an object in your own story because you're receiving an action from someone else. I'm supposed to be the subject, but now I'm the indirect object. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. Personal growth prompt. I'm running out of time. I gotta keep trucking along. Discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth and a new understanding of yourself or others. This is definitely an advanced prompt. This is a hard one to write, but it's okay. Maybe you have a good accomplishment, event, or realization. There's a whole chapter of realization prompts in this book. One thing that's interesting, though, the editor of this book introduces this chapter in a kind of, I'm going to try to paraphrase the editor because it's kind of funny. The editor says something along the lines of avoid having an essay that says something along the lines of, and that's when I realized that I was no longer a boy. I had become a man. Like, just it sounds cliche, but this could, if you go too far into this prompt and get off the rails, that could happen. And the editor of this book suggests often the student will realize it's the opposite. Something that the student thought was going to be of utter importance turned out to not be as important as he or she thought. So I don't know. You could write an essay about that. That might be a good essay. I wouldn't use it for this prompt though, because you have to prove that you had a period of personal growth, and that might be hard to do. So you have to come up with elements of your own life, evidence from your own life that supports the notion that you had some kind of eureka moment, some kind of accomplishment, self-realization. I would call this an advanced prompt, just because it may seem to lack credibility, or it may seem like you're inflating something artificially, whatever this realization was. Don't do that. I'm going to keep going just because I'm running out of time. The captivating subject prompt. Describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging that it makes you lose all track of time. Why does it captivate you? To what or whom do you turn when you wish to learn more? This is a great prompt. I think whatever this topic, idea, or concept is, it's probably going to be your major of study at this school. What's fascinating about chemistry? Why do you want to become a chemist? Why do you want to study chemistry? What makes it so wonderful? What is it about these elements and balancing equations that fascinates you so much? Why does it seem like alchemy? Why does it seem like we just combine things and you can see what's happening here in the chemical equation? Look at this reaction. Look at what's happening when I combine these substances. It's totally like alchemy. Or maybe trying to think of some other subject. Any kind of major would work here. The visual arts. I already did that one. Um, I don't know. I'm losing. I got to keep going. That's probably your major. Whatever. What do you want to do with the rest of your life? What is so fascinating? You want to study it and it alone for the rest of your life. Chemistry? Is it physics? Tell me about physics. Why do black holes fascinate you? Why does dark energy fascinate you? What is so captivating about dark matter? What is it? Who knows? Nobody. It's fascinating. All right, I'm gonna keep going. The open-ended prompt. Okay, so share an essay on any topic of your choice. It can be one you've already written, one that responds to a different prompt, or one of your own design. So I think they're trying to overwhelm you with prompts intentionally. They've already given you six, and now just pick any essay prompt you want, and write any essay ever. So I think they're kind of trying to overwhelm you with choices. So here's a pitfall. So you got an A on your Macbeth essay. Don't submit your Macbeth essay. They don't care about Macbeth. They want to know about you. I could tell from every other prompt that they want to know who you are, what matters to you, what's important to you. They don't care about Macbeth. They know about Macbeth. All right. Oh, so there are unconventional prompts. There's some in here too. There's a chapter on unconventional prompts. So some schools have unconventional essay prompts, like what is your favorite word and why? I would consider that to be an advanced prompt. How am I going to write 650 words about one word from the English language and make it not boring? Someone out there can do it. Some excellent writer could do it for sure. Or what about this one? Create a new word in its accompanying definition for the dictionary. What does this new word belong in the dictionary? What does it mean? So maybe this would be that'd be a hard essay to write. You have 650 words to talk about this newly coined word that you just created out of thin air. Well, I took the Latin for this and I combined it with the Greek for that, and I'm sure someone out there could do it in a clever way. But a lot of people, if they're trying to write 650 words about one single word, it's going to be boring. So that might be a hard, unconventional prompt. I'm going to give you this would be my favorite write-in prompt. This is a Stanford prompt they've used in the past. If I were going to do a write-in essay, I would do this one. What matters to you and why? This is a great prompt. It's succinct. It's beautiful. Something matters. What matters to you and why? Explain what matters. Something has to matter in this world. Is your family important to you? Is the environment important to you? Something must matter. I refuse to believe that it's nihilism. It can't just be nihilism. Something must matter in this world. So I like this prompt. Explain what matters to you. And I could ask 20 people that question, and I could get 20 different answers. That's why I love this prompt. But something out there matters. I refuse to believe that nothing matters. Here's essay structure. So in our remaining time, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the essay's structure. So your essay must have a particular structure if you want to be taken seriously, and that is paragraph structure. I think if you want to be taken seriously in life, your writing should have paragraph structure always. Even if it's a quick email to your boss. Don't send a big blob of text to your boss. Create paragraphs. Everything is better with paragraphs. Seriously. You can take a horrible big blob essay, restructure it into paragraphs, and you can end up with a great essay. So you will use paragraph structure. You'll have an introduction. Your thesis will be in the introduction, near the end of the introduction. And your thesis is just whatever claim you're trying to make about yourself, whatever's in the prompt, right? So your thesis is going to encompass the prompt, basically, as you answer the question. So that's your thesis, whatever you're trying to prove about yourself. And the evidence, the proof is going to be events that actually happened to you, events from your own life. You're going to use that to prove your thesis. This is how I can overcome difficulties because of that time when whatever happened. So that'll be the body of your paper. You're proving your thesis, and then you end your paper with your conclusion. Your conclusion just creates closure primarily. That's all it does. All right, so the thesis is what you seek to prove about yourself with your essay, but by the time the essay is over, it must be what you have proven about yourself. The body of your paper will contain all the evidence that proves your thesis. This will be stuff that is believable. They have to buy it. They have to buy what you're selling, whatever you're claiming about yourself. Maintain your credibility. This is all we have. All you have in life is your credibility. So they have to believe that these events actually happened. Mainly, they're just trying to confirm what they think they already know about you based on the transcript. They already like you at this point, if they're even reading your essay. All right, so I'm going to keep going. The conclusion is to create closure. And the only other thing the conclusion needs to have is a restatement of your thesis. By now, you've proven your thesis. So students often say, well, I got to write this conclusion. I wrote an introduction. Maybe I could just regurgitate that introduction into some kind of conclusion. Would that work? And you know what's wrong with that idea? We shouldn't end up where we started. If we have, your writing is flatlined. Your writing is dead on arrival. It's not taking us anywhere. So instead, maybe the conclusion's up here. A logical progression of ideas should have brought us up here. We're over here now. We're not where we started. So don't fall for that trap. I like to say that a good conclusion answers this question. Where has the journey of my essay taken us? So that's what a good conclusion does. It answers that question. We shouldn't be where we started. If so, your writing is stagnant. All right, I'm going to keep going. So they will judge your essay with a particular set of criteria. I don't know what rubric they will use. We created a sample one. They're never going to reveal the secret sauce, the weight to these different categories. It's going to look something like this, though. They will give it a grade. They will, if they read your essay, they will give it a grade. Maybe it's out of 100, maybe it's A, B, C, or D. This is how they compare you to other people. So they will score it, and they'll probably score it based on these criteria. This is just our sample rubric. We created little tongue-tied analysis category and a writing category. I'm going to read the analysis category just because I'm running out of time. The response shows a thorough understanding of the prompt and a sophisticated awareness of the analytical task. The response reveals a deeper understanding of the candidate's values, or the candidate's beliefs. The essay contains relevant and sufficient support for claims or points made, and that support was evidence from the applicant's own life. Here is the writing category. This whole category just demonstrates, really, we just have the nuts and bolts of English. The essay demonstrates cohesion and a strong command of the English language. The essay includes a well-formulated central claim known as a thesis. I should be able to underline your thesis if I wanted to. The essay includes an effective introduction and conclusion. The essay maintains a formal style and objective tone. The essay demonstrates facility with the English language and is free or virtually free of errors. So that's what we want. Perfect spelling, perfect punctuation, perfect grammar. All of that is important. All right, so this is going to be the last thing we do, last thing we look at. All right, so here we have a sample essay response. This is a response to prompt number 2. So a real student wrote this, and this student got in. This student was accepted. So I'm going to read the prompt one last time, I promise. Then we're done with it. Well, we're just going to read this essay, then we'll be done. But I just want to read the prompt one final time. The lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you? What did you learn from the experience? Okay, so this student wrote about overcoming a difficulty. I'm going to have you guys, it's only, I mean, it's double spaced, but it's really just a page. So read this page-long essay. It's 650 words. It's not too bad. So just ask yourself as you are reading this real essay, all right, what works? What did the student do well? What could be improved? I'm not saying it's a perfect essay. I'm just saying he got in. So read the essay. We'll briefly talk about what it does well, what could maybe be changed or improved, and then we'll be done on time, I promise. So give this a quick read. Okay, we're just about out of time here, so I'm just going to quickly go over this essay and what I think works, what can maybe be improved. So it does have a thesis. That's good. It's right here. Okay. So it sounds believable. I like that. It sounds like this is a real person and these events actually happened. I like that. I like that it's verifiable. So they could verify this on their end, the admission counselors can, because they have these SAT scores. They would be able to see that the student actually did achieve a 630, which was the big improvement. The English didn't go up that much. Anyway, but that's a huge improvement, right? Where did this person start? 430 in math? That's not great. But this person became well above average, 87th percentile in math nationally. That's pretty amazing to me. So I like that it's seems believable to me. It seems like this is a real person. It seems like this person was motivated to study and that this actually occurred, what he's claiming. All right, so things started a little rough. They improved over time. This person's doing questions. This person's doing all of the blue book essentially. So I like that about it. I don't know. It sounds like the person's overcoming difficulties, which is the whole point of this prompt. All right, what else? What about what could be improved? Maybe the writing quality could be a little bit better. I don't see anything. It doesn't seem super clever to me. It just seems pretty straightforward. Um, but then again, this person's like only like a 520 English um, score scorer, so it kind of makes sense. Like it's. I don't hate that it's kind of rudimentary English because that's what this person like, that's kind of what it sounds like a real person who's about that level. But the 630 is very impressive, starting at a four whatever, 400 something. And I like that it is paragraph structure, so the student does reference his thesis as he is proving the thesis. And we have evidence from the student's life to prove the thesis. We have these different tests that the student took. And then we have the conclusion. Does the conclusion create closure? Absolutely. It's clear to me that this paper is over. Facing my SAT challenge has given me confidence in school and life. I now know that I can achieve my goals if I consistently work hard. It is this new confidence that I will take with me to college, hopefully your college, and wherever I go. And do we have a restatement of the thesis? Yes, we do. I have learned that there really is only one thing that matters in life, the strength I have inside to face its challenges. Okay, well, we're done on time. All right, so I will see most of you next Wednesday. So I'm good if you want to just wave good night, and I'm gonna stop the stream here. So thank you, everyone. Good night.